In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to use these loop bands to get a great workout if for any reason you don't have access to a gym. So, big thing to think about when we're using resistance bands is the resistance profile. So the thing with bands is, we all know they're like a rubber band, they stretch. And as they stretch, the amount of tension actually increases, so the movements get harder as you go through them and they're easier at the bottom. That can make things a little bit problematic, especially with certain exercises like Romanian deadlifts, squats, a lot of those ones where we would want it heavy at the bottom, but we will work with what we have. How we're going to defeat that is by getting the tension up as high as possible in the portions that we can, and we'll just do our best in everything else. So first things first, let's go ahead and set up some proper hinging patterns and squat patterns. So how we're going to get a hinge set up with these would be using a thicker loop band for a little bit more resistance. We'll go ahead and lay it on the floor, stamp it with one foot, leave only about a foot of rubber there. Same thing on the other side. We want it to be as short as possible so that when we see it from the side, we're seeing a proper hip hinge, hips back, nice stretch, loading up through the top, squeezing through. Just like so. This resistance does not feel the exact same as a Romanian deadlift, a barbell, or a dumbbell, but it is close enough and effective. That is what counts. Now we can use a similar setup for something like a split squat or lunge. I'm going to go ahead and set it down, stamp right in the middle, pull all the way up to full extension, and then just do our lunges. Try to keep the resistance up by pressing up into the band, and you can increase it as much or as little as you'd like. Go ahead and do each leg straight. 8 to 12 reps on each side should be good for most people. Go ahead and alternate. Now, one of the last good ones we have for bands would be some type of squatting motion. And the way that I like to get those set up would be stamp the feet, spread into a proper squat position. So that's going to be my footing right there. Then I'm going to bring it up over the shoulders and hold right here. So this is going behind the shoulders, up and over the top, holding down so it doesn't crunch the neck, and just squatting from there. This allows for a pretty fluid motion, good range of motion with it as well. Resistance is quite high up at the top, so we're not getting as high quality work as a barbell squat, but we are getting close to it. Now let's go ahead and try some upper body exercises. So we can go ahead and use the small loop band. We're going to be mainly stuck with isolation exercises for this, but we can go ahead and add in some other ones. So as far as the isolation exercises to start with, let's go ahead and get cuffed up onto here like so. Hold it like this. And we can start with a lateral raise by doing one arm at a time and going sideways with it. So spread the feet, get some tension created, right up into there, just like a dumbbell lateral raise. Lead with the wrist, get the elbow up towards the ceiling. And from the side, that's going to look like it's slightly up in front, driving towards the sky. Now, for the biceps, we can go ahead and do the same thing that we did for the lunges. Cut the band in half, stamp it on the floor, get the tension created, lean over into it so that we can get a little bit more hard squeeze at the top. 2. And then for the triceps, we can go ahead and do a behind the back version of the last one we just did for the lateral raise. Just grab, get control of the band, over the back, and we will have it stamped down to the floor, extending up to the top like so. If you guys have any questions about how to properly use these, go ahead and leave a comment down below, or join me on my Instagram at Coach Racket and ask me any questions in the DMs there.